Well, hello there, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I trust you're doing okay and that you are where you want to be. And now that I got that button, and hey, we're all good to go. Hey, Ballot Brand, happy birthday, brother Brandon. How you doing? 27. Yeah, I remember 27. So, buddy, I have no doubt that you will have a fabulous day and just thank you. Your presence in here makes it all that much more beautiful. So thank you, my friend. Uh, Everybody else, hello, how you doing? Speaking favor of over us all, nothing missing, nothing broken. World could use a little bit of that. There ain't no doubt about it. Let's see. There we go. There I am. Wow, Steiger, you're looking good today. Yeah, man, I kind of feel really good too. Well, all right. Hey, I'm just letting you know here in the future, it's really bright. So make sure you bring the shades. Hey, DC and Deborah, how you doing, darling? You and New Yoda, what's up? Lost in Space. Deborah, how are you doing? Xander, good to see you. Melissa, hello, Elderberry. Want to give a shout out, updates. Gilbert, you know, part of this group and met Gilbert. He's a kind man. Well, anyway, that surgery that he went in for turned out to be a little bit more intense. I think he said like a full shoulder replacement. So, Gilbert, if you're listening, hey, we're sending you healing vibes. We got that nice Hawaiian music in the background, gentle breeze. Being that he lives out in Colorado. So anyway, go all the way from Croatia. How you doing, brother? Nina, good to see you. And Robert V, hello. Lori, hello to you. So Gilbert, we're thinking about you, brother. I'll tell you what. Seek any kind of pain management. I mean, that has got to be freaking painful. Sucks. So also an update, Ginger Grin, otherwise it's known as Lauren, got married. Yes. To Eli, I believe that's right. Eli, yep. Now, Eli is from New Zealand. So on Wednesday, they will be in New Zealand. And Lauren, darling, and Eli, we just speak favor over you. We speak favor over this marriage, and may it prosper, and may the bond grow deep, may it grow wide. And I have no doubt that new adventures await both of you that are going to be those type of adventures that you make the memories, whether it's good times, rough times. That love bond is a bond that transcends all of that. I know, have one with my wife. And so speak that over your marriage. And far out, darling, we're going to miss you. But New Zealand, I mean, what can you say bad about New Zealand? I mean, is that like, every time I think of New Zealand, I think of the Hobbit, by the way. I always think of Peter Jackson's books and, the films. They were just spectacular. A lot of that was shot over in New Zealand. So anyway, much love to y'all. So Mark Smith, and he says that he learned it here. Anyway, many of you, I have to get him on. We're going to get Mark on. He up and left everything. Got tired of it. Screw it, And without knowing the language, without knowing very little other than the destination, and with not many material possessions, made his way all the way down. I think he was in Mexico for a while. But anyway, he is now, I believe, in Brazil. So Mark, brother, we love you, and way to go, buddy. It shows you what you can do. There's no hardship that really becomes such a hardship that it can't be overcome. And usually those type of sacrifices, they mean more. They're more precious to us. It's the memories of sometimes the struggle that we get. So that lasts the most. So anyway, way to go, Mark. And he's loving it down there. So we got to get him on. So what else? William, good to see you. Red Hair in Media. How are you doing? Jackie. So yeah. Got some cool people in here. Sending a shout out to Guy and to our good friend and brother Nathan over in, I think, Nathan, are you in Poland? I believe you are. Nathan Nadershek. Go over to eBay and not eBay, Etsy. Yeah, it's the other one. Yeah. Get them confused. Check out his material. I know that he was sending something to me, but I think it got lost in the mail. I don't know what happened. I mean, so Nathan, if you're listening to this, it never arrived. Or maybe someone got enlightenment of it. You know, the way I look at it is, sow a seed. Then when you have the need, you'll always have the seed. A seed never produces just its own, except in humans. In the plant kingdom, it's always more than enough, right? Aaron, good to see you. Caught my eye because I've been seeing shadow people way more than I ever have in my... Interesting you say that, Aaron. There have been more than a few. You're not by yourself. I mean, I don't know. We talked about this a little bit last Friday and mentioned it, and I think it's happening. I think the veil is much more transparent. Now, when I was in Christianity and, back in the days of preaching and what have you, and sitting under some pretty interesting people, as I look back now, I just simply say, they were tapped into something. And if you kind of just separate the religion out of it, wow, again, full freaking initiation. But in any case, it was Hilton Sutton. This guy was an expert on Revelation, Ezekiel, Daniel, 30 weeks. But anyway, he said that if you look at the writings, there was something interesting that happened at the first century. And his evidence was that, there was that time in the book of Matthew, and I don't know if it's 24, maybe, I don't know. I do know, I think it is 24, that several things happened when the Christ either committed suicide, was a sacrifice, I mean, however you want to spin it, but it says at the moment of the departure of the spirit from the body, that it ripped this spiritual veil. It literally obliterated it, burst it open. And proof of that was that the report was that the graveyards in Jerusalem and the surrounding area, that, the graves were burst open. Not all of them, but a great deal. People carrying their bodies. I still can't figure that one out. I mean, that's some science fiction, brother. That's Stephen Kingish, Dean Koontz. Yeah, I was driving through in that back road, and as the sun set down, I began to see a strange phenomenon in the graveyards as I passed. It seems that as I looked on there and began to look closer, there were not just one, but many different graves that had burst open. Weird shit. The veil in the temple was rent from the top to the bottom. That thing was like 6 inches thick cloth. Human hands couldn't tear it apart, but I don't know. It all depends on how you look at the book. I mean, it's either a great book of fiction or science fiction, horror. Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of horror in it. I got to tell you what, there ain't no doubt about it. So anyway, Bonnie, what's up? Good to see you. Paul Joe, hello. So the raising dead in the old theme. Yeah, think about that. The zombie apocalypse ain't nothing new. If you take it as literal, then this has happened before. Now think about that. The graves have burst open. You know, the dead is no longer the dead, because it's prophesied. Something's going to happen where you only wish you were dead. You ain't going to die. Your body may be dead, but your spirit is still trapped in that dead body. Now, that's some weird shit, buddy. Right there, I'm talking to you. That is some weird shit. Come on, you got to tell me. You're in your body, your spirit. Your body's dead, but your spirit's trapped in it. So it means it's animated, reanimated. Now, I'm going to tell you what. I don't care who you are. You're walking down the street and you see something like that happening, yeah, you're going to piss yourself. You're probably going to crap your pants. Then you're going to say, oh, the hell, I got to get the hell out of here. Then you got all that shit everywhere. But yeah. Weird stuff. I mean, someone sent me and I wrote him back and we had an exchange. It was so author Schopenhauer. Yeah, there he goes. Schopenhauer. You know, he was a philosopher back in the 1800s, I believe. Anyway, his whole thing was, that this is hell. That you and me, if we're here, we pissed off somebody. We're all fucked because we're in this prison. And his philosophy was that the only thing that you and I do is that we seek pleasure, because pleasure diverts us from the pain, the suffering that we as mortal spirits have to endure. It never gets better. One pain is merely substituted for another. And no matter how much you repent, no matter how much you amend your ways, it does you no good. This is a prison. This is hell. This realm only knows pain. Pleasure, again, is only momentary. Now, I don't believe that shit. Listen, it could very well be. It's not pleasant here. I will grant you that. We're on the eve of World War III, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm going to get into the book, but we got to talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, we as a species are literally on the eve of something really, really nasty. And it's going to happen. You know why it's going to happen? It's the only thing that will divert our attention from another pain that's about to hit us, and that is the economy. We're living on borrowed time. I'm speaking to us in America. This is a very dark, dark days for us. Biden told us that he would put us into the darkness, the winter of darkness. Well, we're here, and we are on borrowed time. Our economy is going to collapse. I hope you're prepared for it. It's going to happen. And the only thing that has ever pulled any economy out of a depression, and I'm using the D word, we're financing in the United States a two-front war now. We can't afford anything, and it's about to be a third front. I predict China will make a move on the Taiwan Straits. They know our position. They're the ones financing us. Isn't that weird? Why would China finance its own enemy? Geopolitics, right? World economy. So we're financing two wars right now. We can't afford either one. We have two carrier groups sitting in the Mediterranean. These two carrier groups, each carrier group has like 100 ships that supports the primary airfield. That would be that floating aircraft carrier. It was reported yesterday that on these two, and there's a third carrier group on its way in, but the two that are there right now have over 12,000 foot soldiers on board. Lynn and I were talking. I said, did we miss something? Did they send out an invite or something? I mean, 12,000? The other carrier group it's reported to carry between 5,000 to 8,000. That would put about 20,000 U.S. American troops in Israel, Jordan. Not good, folks. Not good. But we are hell bent on making this thing happen. I don't know where the worldwide protest is. I am shocked to see, instead of people sitting in the fucking streets chanting peace, singing peace songs, we've got them out there promoting and worshiping death. That's crazy. There are no peaceful protests. There isn't anything. There isn't the feeling of Woodstock. There isn't the feeling of when we were in Vietnam. That feeling ain't here. It's replaced with something ugly. It's mean. Nasty. Hey, McLevin, what's doing, brother? JD, right back at you, brother. Love you, man. So, I don't know. Where are all the witches? Where are all the occultists? Who the fuck is behind this? That's what we need to be exposing. I cannot believe human beings in their right presence of mind say, oh, well, the hell with peace and love. No, we want death and war and destruction because we like to see those boom booms go off. Ain't they pretty? Look at the light they do in the sky. And then the other side of me is going, well, where the hell's ET? What? Are they taking bets in Vegas? Huh? Wars are very profitable for the family, the bloodline. They win no matter what. You may lose, they win. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Dave, what's up? Brandy, hello. How are you doing, Gaia? They are in Vegas. I know. That's just it. You're absolutely right. Hey, Goddess, what's up? I mean, it's crazy, folks. And I want to know, where's all the occultists? Where are all the Luciferians, the Satanists? I mean, the world's dependent on the Christians. That ain't working. That's what's getting us into this freaking war. They got this thing they hold up in their hand saying prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. No, you moron. If you say no to the prophecy ain't going to happen. What's wrong with our species? I mean, wow. If we were being judged right now by so-called higher intelligence, personally, I wouldn't want to be on our side. I think they're going to go, y'all messed up, man. I don't know what you've been smoking. I don't know what you've been drinking, but your species is messed up. We can't let y'all out here. We got a love fest going on right back here. In the back over there, we got Jimmy playing. We can't allow that shit in here. So, hate seems to be the theme of the day. Hate your neighbor, hate your friend, hate your species, then let's do it again. Yeah. No one wins in violence. No matter what you feel your justification is, no matter what you think you may have this righteous thing to it, it's a fucking lie. Either we are all the same on the inside or we're not. Now, that may be a truth no one wants to talk about. Because it sure seems to me there's more than a few that seem to have a alternative motive behind all this. It ain't pretty. I don't like it. Anyway, 22 minutes for that. Okay, 23. Aaron, sure, you got my email. Just email me, and absolutely. We've got to do better than this. You know, there are things in motion that I was out doing my little meditation out on my deck. And I look at this, I can't figure it out. It almost feels like I have been disenfranchised from my species. Because I don't believe that my species is so regressed. Out of the thousands of years of records that we have, we've done nothing to change. We love violence. We love war. All modern sports are nothing more than gladiator sports. You have to have a victor and you have to have a loser. And in all these thousands of years, we're no more intelligent than our simian ancestors. If that's where some of us come. And then this thought hit me. And this is exactly what I heard. I wrote it down. This is what I heard. Steiger, you know we're not all the same on the inside. I don't believe every human being has a soul. In fact, as you examine things, it would appear that those humans that do have souls are apparently becoming fewer and fewer. There's something else that possesses the human consciousness. We hold it under the umbrella as human, but don't believe it's human at all. I'm not sure that many of us are human. And then it would imply then there is something else on the inside of these bodies. We all can't be going to the same destination. And if we're all not the same, hey, David Berry, how are you, brother? Then what do these bodies hold? I mean, think about this. Did you come into being the minute you were born? Or actually, you weren't born, you died. This realm is the living death realm. And isn't it hot? I mean, people don't want to leave. I was like, I don't want to go. I'm afraid of death. I don't want to go. Why? And you never realize that, hey, Jack, it might be actually a good thing, because everything here dies. Everything has to be eaten. Someone's going to eat you or you're going to eat it. Because if you don't, you ain't going to be around. Strange engine, isn't it? It takes in living energy and consumes it. Sounds like a freaking psychic vampire, doesn't it? Aaron says, I think this universe was created by accident by a universe like ours, as Jerry Willis explained it. I've heard that theory. But then you've got to think that, and so part of that thing is that, on Saturday, I finish out the thought that, well, then that would imply that we truly are either, we come into creation the moment that we think that we're born here. But then you look at that and saying, but that doesn't make sense, because if you die, where are you going? To Ghostland? We're studying on the shadow people. So do some of us come back as shadow people? Are we shadow people? Huh? Think about that. We're going to get into the different types, but it would appear to me in the realm of duality, why would it not be that the case? Why would we not have what we would call the light body and a dark body? What if the doppelganger effect is in play here? That there truly is two of us. One of us in the positive of the light and one of us that are in the negative and the dark. But we learned last week, even the Bible teaches there is a darkness that we have no idea or comprehension of. And there's a light that we have no idea about. Red Heron is talking about the torture devices of old. Yeah, think about this. Bonnie says, I'm not even a shadow of who I was. I can dig that. And so all things are possible. Quantum entanglement. I watched this movie over the weekend on quantum entanglement. Holy crap, Batman. I mean, if this veil thing, remember everything's connected, is truly, there's a rent in it. It's somehow now not as strong as it has been. I mean, here's a potential little theory to add on top of that, or hypothesis. Does the weakening of our magnetopause, the poles, Is this weakening, does it have an effect into the ethereal realm? And does electromagnetism exist in the spirit realm? Or are those only effects that we see in this realm? One symposium that I was at years ago talked about immersive technology, immersive reality, and how the brain can be tricked into thinking something is a part of that reality structure, because our brains basically discard about 80% of what is around us because we don't have the capacity to quantumly compile all this. But what it does do is it's remarkable. So this immersive reality, is this what we're doing here now? I mean, AI is everywhere. Have we unleashed our own demise? Is this the thing that has caused it? And then you think about the shadow people. This is all connected. Are they here witnessing this? I mean, maybe some of them have that's who they are. They're these indeed corporeal beings, but made up of different type of matter than what we can even comprehend. I mean, our ability to see light is only 3% of the whole visible spectrum. So if we can only see about 3% of what light is, don't know about you, but for me, it's like if I'm only getting 3% of something that I am supposed to have 100% of, I'm getting screwed. I want to know who's taking the other 97%. And if that other 97% is impacting my 3%, I'm just asking for a friend. Hey, Lightbearer, let's see. Ken. I'm just stopping in here saying Ken. Okay. Is it Ken or Kent? Bonnie. So anyway, hey, Mary Wins, how you doing? So a lot of thought here. I mean, there is something going on. We are deed, and it's in the press now. When they started using the term, I went, oh, crap. You know, I've tried to reach out to Cliff. I'll have to try to reach out to him again and see. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Get the perspective on that. Because it's here. I don't know if we can stop it. And maybe in all the other realms and all the other dimensions, they say that we live in an unlimited other parallel dimensions. That if you can think of something that you would like to be, should have been, or could have been, and then your doppelganger, or you're a doppelganger. Because every one of us in the other realms think it's us. They see us as merely as a shadow of a fragment of their imagination as we see them. And it's hard to determine as to who is the original here. Who, in fact, has that right to ownership as being the original. But no, that's where entanglement becomes an issue. Hey, Raven, what's up? I gotta get back and read some of this. Yeah, that's some great comments. Y'all are really onto it. And I know we're going to get into it. That's a dear. But it's all happening. It's happening right before our eyes. My biggest concern is that some idiot lets off a nuclear warhead. You know, when you start having between the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, and And then you got the players over there that, the Israelis, and that Mediterranean Sea is going to get pretty crowded. You got 300 or 400 warships in a very constricted area. Mistakes happen. Precarious. And again, where's all the witches? Where are the occultists? Where are the protest of peace? Not blaming or taking sides. No. This energy dampens that. And I don't know why, if we're supposed to have all this gnosis, then what the fuck good of it is if it doesn't change anything? If all I'm going to do is change my reality, God damn it, that's selfishness. I can exist by myself. I have. I don't know for how many eons. Seems like I come back here to get companionship, find others. I don't know. Could be wrong on that. Thank you. Rage Against the Machine. Thank you. So anyway, that's my rant. We got to do something. And I look at this and I just go, can't be the only voice. It can't be. It's impossible. And why is it that we can't seem to unite the voice? And every time there seems to be even the spark of such a thing, I see almost like a deliberate bolt coming in that's designed to divide and to confuse. That those that were two in agreement suddenly become fractured, one against the other. I mean, does that sound like some left-hand type of magic, JD? Sounds like someone, maybe it's just that simple. I don't know. Hey, Flight Risk, what's up? Good to see you, Lady Ellie. Lightberry, positive, negative, and neutral. There you go. That's a hell of a thing, isn't it? Brandy says, exactly. We have to keep our freedom of speech. The controlled narrative makes it difficult. It does. Words are power. So if you restrict the words that can be spoken, whoa. Now that's some powerful magic. And then I think, why can't we invoke the angels? Why can't we invoke the demons saying, hey, we need you guys to manifest your asses right now. Let's get this thing put to bed, or do they want this? Do they feed off the suffering? Do they feed off? I mean, I'm talking about God, Jesus, angels, demons, however you want to classify it. They all seem to be, they seem to feed off suffering, our suffering. None of these gods are doing any kind of battles here in the physical realm that I can see, but it's us so-called humans. They always feed upon us. War, the most intense. It's an elixir that they lust after. War brings in the intensity. I mean, it's like taking a hit of pure acid. I mean, these beings, think about it. Mark says, "Loosh, baby, ain't that the truth?" I mean, and that, and the thing about it is, again, what good is it to have gnosis? What good is it to have the occult, the knowledge, if it doesn't do anyone any good? I'm tired of this repeat. The 25,000 days I've been on this planet, I've seen it repeat in my lifetime. Not once, not twice, 3 times, 4 times. And it's never resolved. Never. Okay. They feed off of suffering, the pain, etc. Brandon, no, I don't think so. But that's interesting. Yeah. Hey, Robert, what's up? Keep high frequency. It drowns out the archons. They can't jump souls in. I like that. So we know that hey, Ryder Lee is in the house. How you doing, brother? Flight risk. I see they let you out. That's good. Paul Joe, how you doing, Tadpole? So anyway, Rick. So, and then think about what we're seeing right now. Is it if we all don't have a soul? Now, I'm going to inject this into the conversation. We may have to pick up on the book on Wednesday. So hear me out. We've read this. We've studied it. So last week we found out that the Earth did not have the sun and the moon. We found out that, it was apparently in another galaxy, another system. Wasn't this one. We found out that they may not even been human, these first two, male and females. We never found out. They never died. Got no record of them. So, I mean, that's some pretty heavy stuff. And then the question is, did they ever have a soul? There's no writing that they had a soul. So were they just merely spirit inhabiting a body? Then that gets into the thought, as someone left a comment, then isn't humans nothing more than golems? I mean, that's what a golem is. Because we all don't have souls. Listen, ladies, I don't know how to tell you this. We've talked about this before. But according to the Bible, you don't have a soul. That's why in Islam, no women go to heaven. You don't have a soul. You go to a different place. Yeah, I know that sucks. It's like, well, that's some of the most male chauvinistic stuff I've heard in a long time. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to take at least one point. All right, they're saying that females have no soul, that it was only Adam who had the breath of life, so that he became a living soul. Well, wait a minute. So he became a living, is there such a thing as a dead soul? I mean, you can't have a living soul if you don't have a dead soul. But who would have a dead soul? I don't know. Dead soul in the realm of death? Seems a little conflict of interest there. I don't know. But so getting back into the story now, right? So we look at it, and I have Bubba in the house. He's a ferocious dog. Makes me think, okay, so if we all don't have a soul, then that means there would be some that would have what in the inside? What's the thing? Is it we all have a spirit? I mean, is this what the divine is? And is that really what the case is? To have the divine, I mean, what if there's a race, a species, a consciousness that don't want the divine? Don't want to have anything to do with it. It's a false doctrine as far as it's concerned. Doesn't need spirituality. The physical aspect, I can transfer my conscious energy into any golem I want to. I can lay down this golem and make the transition because, apparently we're really good at doing this. Now, you may call it reincarnation, but we seem to go in and take possession of a flesh and energy thing that we somehow, like the Vulcan mind mailed, we mailed to it. I love this. OB says we all came from ourselves. Huh? Then that means that if we came from one, wow, isn't that the ultimate in ego? I mean, listen, it gets weird on this. I agree. But Bonnie, here's the thing: light. What are you talking? Define light for me. That's one of the things we spoke about last week. Are you defining light as a photon? That means then light wouldn't exist outside where that chemical reaction or the electrical reaction could take place. Fusion of the egg and sperm and spirit. There, that's an idea. I love this conversation. The one made first is the one made last. Like that. It's like, okay. No, I absolutely. In fact, there is a scripture that says that. This God says, "Did I not tell you the end from the beginning?" It's like, oh crap, man. That sounds like a predeterminism. It's like, okay, so all of this has been predetermined ahead of time. Oh no. It begs that question then. So did you volunteer for the script? I mean, were you this God on the other side and you had the opportunity, you had all these scripts in front of you of these egregores, bodies, and you're saying, oh, I want that one. Well, that one. But then again, it leads to the thought, then are you telling me that there are people on the other side who said, I want to be that person who's a slave, tormented, tortured, deprived all of its life? I don't know. I don't like that at all. I don't like that, the whole implication of that. I mean, these are conversations I don't hear out there. I mean, what is it within us that as a species? Because do we all have souls? And what's the proof that we all have souls? Does consciousness require a soul? I ask in the chat. Does consciousness require a soul? Do do doom 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 doom. See, I can do it all. And what say y'all? I mean, think about it. Does consciousness require a soul? Because the real thing is, does a soul require a consciousness? Well, no. Well, Aaron, I'd like to see your material. Absolutely. Jeanette says, I think it is a predetermined AI program. It's really odd, when you think about it. Aaron says, no, I think that there's a lot of truth to that. I don't think consciousness needs a soul. I guess then the other question then would be that when we're born into this realm, could you really sell your soul? Is it our responsibility that when we're granted a soul, and whatever that soul is, I don't know, because if it's just consciousness, does consciousness have memory? Is it the soul that holds the vassal for the memories? And are we responsible for developing these souls? There is a thought that when we die, these souls, they depart from us. They become their own sentient being. We, in spirit, it's what we do. Some of us are good at it. Some of us are not. I mean, is that the purpose? We, being eternal in our construct, create the mortality of which we call the soul. and that it's beholding to each one of us to individually either develop to allow, when departure comes, that the soul now has the ability to carry on its own. Are there different realms of where there is just those of the soul? Can we, being the immortals that create the soul, however you want to define that, does the development of the soul then become a crown to us as spirit beings? We see these souls that we nurtured, we bonded with. Some say that the body spirit blends itself to the soul. I don't know. Just a thought, just throwing it out there. God, I love this hour. This hour has just gone by like that. Wow. I mean, and I just saw this. Someone who said that. Oh, Bonnie, you did. Very interesting. So the DNA, the code, is that physical code somehow transmuted? Is it transmuted to our souls? Is the DNA that we each carry that's unique to us, is this representation of spirit? That each spirit has within it unlimited souls? We contain knowledge that we can't even begin to fathom, but we can't access it. I don't know. I mean, I have my ideas. I don't think anybody knows. I just don't. I don't think anyone is connected into all the answers. I don't believe that for a second. It's kind of my contention to say, I don't believe that there is an all-knowing being. That doesn't exist. I'll tell you why it doesn't exist. God, or whatever your imagination of what God is not an all-knowing being. Can't be. If it was an all-knowing being, it would cease to exist. It would have no purpose. Its existence would be meaningless. Whereas, if you have this consciousness, it's learning as we do. Now, it may have a greater retention of knowledge, and through that, it could potentially look at what potential possibilities of potential are for futures, but it wouldn't know the exact future. Again, if you knew everything, what would be your purpose? You'd most likely go insane. Lady Ailey says its purpose is to teach us, but Lady Ailey, I guess the question would be, but it already knows. I mean, you would be reliving a freaking nightmare, would you not? It would be a trap. It would be a conscious trap. You know everything. Nothing you do, it will change it. You know everything. You see, I think that's the trap. I don't know. I'm just sitting here just going, okay, I don't know, just going out there, having a great discussion with, a couple thousand friends all around the world, But it is a question. I mean, if I was to meet God. I don't know what it would look like. And if it looked like me, oh no, shit. I mean, then it means it really is true that I am a God. Oh, wait a minute. The Bible does say that, doesn't it? It doesn't say it once, doesn't say it twice. It says it 3 different times that we are gods. And then I often have this crazy thought going, okay, well, if I'm a God, have I ever been a female? I don't remember that. Would I experience the duality of the sexuality of the presence of mind? I don't know. The thought just hit me. I'm just going, okay. I mean, think about it. The shadow people have male and female. I mean, and I'm looking at this thing. Apparently the ghost are males and females, although I've never seen a ghost with an erection. I don't know. I mean, if the women have breasts, why couldn't the other? I mean, I digress on that. But again, it's like no one ever sees a naked ghost. But I wonder if a nudist, a true nudist, or let's say you were of a primitive tribe where clothes and you had the environment. I mean, would you go over on the other side as naked? Because clothes would be foreign, right? I'm just asking for a friend, Hey, Laureen, how you doing? See, Mr. C, that's an interesting. It says in the beginning, there was nothing else but the creator. How lonely that would be. So it created a way of expressing itself through us. Good and bad are only concepts. But then does it really know everything? It's one of those things. And again, if I met God, I don't know exactly what would I say. I mean, anything I say, it already knows. I mean, I guess maybe it knows that I probably wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't know what to say to it. Bonnie says, clothes are egos. Well, then that means the ego's transferred over to the, transition of death or rebirth. I prefer to see it as rebirth. When I blended into this realm, the pain was of such intensity, it brought forth the intensity of that moment of brilliant of light. That's all I saw. Because the pain, it blows your freaking mind. Blows your mind into your body. I don't know. It depends on how you. Brandy, what's that? Maybe they're in gowns because they were the ones tortured in the. Well, that's true. And then I always wonder, is Brandy as well with children? I mean, lots of children are on the other side. So am I seeing their soul? Is that what we're dealing with here? Did their spirit somehow? I mean, it's one of the questions in the paranormal, and I've got my equipment and what have you, but I've seen enough people who have recorded children. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell is that saying? And the children many times are lost. They're looking for help. I don't know. What's y'all's answer to that one? I don't know what that is. I mean, because if that's the case, then this all-powerful, all-knowing being seems to be really absent-minded. I don't know. All right, everybody. Didn't even get to the book. And if you're reading this, I'll tell you what, just chalk it up to a ad lib Monday. There we go. That's the way I'll look at it. And I appreciate all of you that too. The comments are just freaking great. Such great thinkers, such great thinkers. Atheists died and they don't believe in the afterlife. That's a hell of a deal, isn't it? You know, you make the transition and you go, what? Ah, crap. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We all have so much there to learn. There ain't no doubt about it. Well, and again, I'll just use no. Thank all of you beautiful souls, spirits, consciousness. You know, I don't know if we all have a soul. You know, nothing missing, nothing broken. Jackie, that's the way to open it and close it. I think that is just perfect. And happy birthday, Brandon, brother. You're welcome. You are definitely welcome. And as Graham says, the wild stallions be excellent to one another and party on dudes and dudettes, indeed. So thank you all. Thank you for hitting the like button. And I love this group. It leads to a lot of good medicine. You know, laughter doeth the heart as a good medicine. So, all right, until we meet again, meet with the ladies tomorrow. Let's hope that they don't go badass crazy out there. I tell you, we got to have love. John Lennon, where are you when we need you, man? All right, much love, everybody. And Nina says, make sure to check in her Sunday live show. Ain't that? Thank you. That put a smile on my face. All right, y'all are the best. Until we